Yeah, Conor McGregor follows me on Twitter. Like, I was told that as well the other day by my brother's friend. So, things like that and like massive.
You know, look at our superstar. What is up, yeah? You're the next big thing, Dave. Yeah, look at your Lord. Great to see it, yeah.
Dakota Ditcheva just dropped a bombshell, and the entire MMA world is paying attention. While most fighters obsess over belts, rankings, and title shots, Dakota is moving differently. She made it clear she doesn't need a belt right now because in her mind, legacy comes first. That statement
Deep for sure.
Dakota Ditcheva to the body for a championship.
alone shook fans. Some called it fearless confidence. Others said it was crazy talk. But the truth is much deeper than people realize. Dakota isn't just another prospect trying to climb the ladder. She's already one of the biggest names outside the UFC and the face of the PFL women's division. Every promotion needs a star, and right now Dakota is that
You're the next big thing, Dave. Yeah, look at your Lord.
star. She gets the promo packages, the spotlight entrances, the co-main events, and the big matchups. The company knows she brings excitement every time she steps into the cage. And it's easy to understand why. Her style is pure violence mixed with precision. She doesn't just beat opponents, she breaks them. Sharp knees, brutal elbows.
I'm just like, get me anything, literally. But like you said, it was kind of, it's hard. I get it's hard for PFL, they put all the girls in the tournament and then now they need to find someone that's gonna kind of give me a good competition. They can't give me someone that's, just kind of signed to the PFL and not really had that much experience because it doesn't make sense. I've just beat Santos very easily. I think that's another thing that I have to understand is like if I'd had a 5-round war with Santos, there would have been a few more people in there that would have been more of a match. But
Instead, long-range striking and non-stop pressure. Every time she fights, fans expect a highlight reel finish. That kind of energy is rare in women's MMA, and promotions build around fighters like that. But Dakota's mindset is what separates her. Instead of begging for a title, she's focused on building her name into something bigger than a championship. She wants to become unforgettable. In a sport where many champions are remembered only during their reign, Dakota wants to be remembered forever. She wants fans talking about her years after retirement. That approach has created controversy. Some fighters are jealous because while they chase gold, Dakota is gaining fame faster than many champions. She's becoming a global attraction without needing a UFC belt around her waist. That frustrates people who believe titles should be everything. The reality is, belts matter. They always will. Championships bring legitimacy, history, and status. But star power can sometimes become even more valuable. There are fighters who held titles and faded away. Then there are fighters who became icons because of personality, violence, and unforgettable performances. Dakota seems determined to become the second type. Now the big question is whether this road eventually leads to the UFC. Dana White has already been linked to interest in her, and fans constantly imagine what she would do against elite UFC flyweights. If she keeps stacking dominant wins, that pressure will only grow louder. And make no mistake, Dakota believes she belongs with the best. She has openly talked about matching up with top names and believes her striking can trouble anyone in the division. That confidence isn't fake hype. It comes from someone who keeps...
Right now, looking at the two people who are fighting for their belt, you could beat them right now. Alexa Grasso, Valentina Shevchenko.
yeah, I think I could. Yeah, I definitely think I'd be up there.
Your skill set matches up perfectly with theirs. It's not like they're wrestlers or anything like that.
No, and I think we'll see that when I win this season now and, say I beat someone like Liz Carmouche and Talia Santos. As soon as I've beat them, I think, what else can people expect other than greatness for the rest of the year?
Backing it up inside the cage. Still, there's risk in ignoring belts too long. Legacy without championships can become a debate forever. Critics will always say she avoided the hardest route or never proved herself against the deepest division. That's why Eventually, she may need gold to silence everyone. For now though, Dakota Ditcheva is rewriting the rules. She's proving that in modern MMA, you don't always need a belt to become the center of attention. Sometimes dominance, charisma, and destruction are enough. So is Dakota a visionary building a bigger legacy than titles can offer? Or is she risking everything by delaying championship greatness? One thing is certain. Dakota Ditcheva isn't waiting for history to happen. She's forcing it. Kayla Harrison just sent shockwaves through the MMA world with one statement, and it has fans debating the future of women's MMA. That's MMA. She wasn't talking about her own UFC rise, her next fight, or chasing another belt. Instead, Kayla put the spotlight on one fighter she believes could storm into the UFC and destroy everyone in her path, Dakota Ditcheva. And yes, according to Kayla, that includes legends like Valentina Shevchenko. That's not a casual compliment. That's a bombshell. When Kayla Harrison speaks on fighters, people listen. She's a two-time Olympic gold medalist, former PFL superstar, and one of the most respected athletes in combat sports. She shared gyms with elite fighters, sparred world-class talent, and knows exactly what real danger looks like inside a cage. So when she calls Dakota Ditcheva a killer, it means something. Kayla described Dakota as young, hungry, disciplined, motivated, and dangerous. But the word that stood out most was killer. In MMA, that label isn't handed out lightly. It means someone who doesn't just win fights, they break opponents mentally and physically. That's exactly what Dakota has been doing. Dakota Ditcheva has become one of the fastest rising stars in women's MMA. Undefeated, explosive, and violent in the cage, she has built a reputation as a nightmare matchup for almost anyone at flyweight. Her Muay Thai background gives her weapons many fighters simply can't deal with. Sharp elbows.
And then who wins? Dakota versus Valentina.
You really make me say that. She's my favorite fighter, but come on.
Favorite fighter, number one.
Yeah, she is. She's always been my favorite fighter, Valentina, yeah.
All time.
Yeah, all time.
Have you ever told her
I
this?
think like she's just like an MMA athlete. Like,
yeah.
What can she not do? Like, she can grapple. If she needs to win by grappling, she can do it. If she needs to strike, she can do it. Like, I mean, so many people thought she was going to get a belt taken off her by the French girl, Manon
Fiorot.
Oh, you said it quite well. Yeah, people wrote her off with that, and look what she did. She always finds a way to win. I think she's very, very clever.
Brutal knees, long-range kicks, and fast combinations make her one of the most feared strikers outside the UFC. But it's not just technique. It's the way she fights. Dakota doesn't coast to decisions. She hunts finishes. She pressures opponents, breaks rhythm, and forces mistakes. Every fight feels like she's trying to make a statement. Fans love that style, and fellow fighters respect it.
In the post-fight interview, you announced that you had re-signed with the PFL. Congratulations. Are you happy with how everything turned out?
Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, I am happy now in the end. It took a while. I mean, I fought last November, so it took a while for us to come to, you know, something that was right for the both of us. But I'm happy now, you know, just secured my future for me and my family.
That's why Kayla's words hit so hard. Because by saying Dakota could beat everyone in the UFC, Kayla is basically challenging the entire women's division. She's saying champions like Valentina Shevchenko, Alexa Grasso, and Zhang Weili would all have serious problems if Dakota walked through the door tomorrow. That immediately creates controversy. Valentina Shevchenko has long been considered one of the greatest women's fighters ever. Elite striking, championship experience, composure under pressure.
What
were you going to say?
I was going to say Bellator has had Hawaii events.
Bellator could put on a fucking fight in the parking lot. Dude, I can't even believe you just said that. PFL Tour You know PFL was here on Friday. Did anybody know that? You're the media guys. I didn't know till fucking Friday. They were selling tickets, buy two, get two free. I'm not busting on them. That's a fucking fact. They put out a memo, buy two, get two free. You're having a bad fucking week if those are the memos you're putting out.
Hey, Dana.
There were more people in my fucking green room tonight than there were at the fight.
Finally,
And one of the smartest fight IQs in MMA history. Many believe she would expose younger contenders with ease. But Kayla sees something different. She sees Dakota's size, speed, aggression, and modern striking style as tools that could trouble even Valentina. Youth versus experience. Pressure versus patience. Violence versus precision. That matchup alone would be one of the biggest women's fights possible. Then there's the bigger issue behind all this, UFC versus PFL. For years, UFC has been viewed as the unquestioned home of elite MMA talent. But fighters like Dakota Ditcheva are changing that conversation. PFL has been developing serious talent, and if one of their stars crosses over and starts knocking out UFC contenders, it damages the old narrative that greatness only exists inside the UFC. Kayla Harrison knows that better than anyone. She dominated in PFL, then moved to the UFC and instantly made noise. So when she hypes Dakota, it's not random. She knows what elite skill looks like in both promotions. She's seen Dakota train, seen her power up close, and understands the level she's operating at. Some critics will say Kayla is just promoting a teammate or friend. That's fair. Fighters often support their own people. But others believe this is more than hype. Because Dakota's performances keep backing the talk up. She isn't just winning. She's dismantling opponents. She looks composed, dangerous, and improving every time out. At her age, she may not have even entered her prime yet. That should worry every flyweight on the planet. Imagine Dakota signing with the UFC tomorrow. The headlines would explode. Fans would demand fights with top contenders immediately. Alexa Grasso, Erin Blanchfield, Manon Fiorot, and eventually Valentina Shevchenko. The road would be brutal, but Dakota's confidence suggests she wants exactly that. And if she succeeds, she wouldn't just become a champion. She could become the next global superstar in women's MMA. So now the question belongs to the fans. Is Kayla Harrison simply hyping her teammate? Or did she just reveal that Dakota Ditcheva is the next woman ready to shake the entire sport? One thing is certain. Dakota Ditcheva is no longer just a prospect. She is now a threat people are seriously discussing at championship level. And if Kayla Harrison is right, every UFC champion should already be paying attention. Dakota Ditcheva just dropped a bombshell, and the entire MMA world is paying attention. While most fighters obsess over belts, rankings, and title shots, Dakota is moving differently. She made it clear she doesn't need a belt right now because in her mind, legacy comes first. That statement alone shook fans. Some called it fearless confidence. Others said it was crazy talk. But the truth is much deeper than people realize. Dakota isn't just another prospect trying to climb the ladder. She's already one of the biggest names outside the UFC and the face of the PFL women's division. Every promotion needs a star, and right now Dakota is that star. She gets the promo packages, the spotlight entrances, the co-main events, and the big matchups. The company knows she brings excitement every time she steps into the cage. And it's easy to understand why. Her style is pure violence mixed with precision. She doesn't just beat opponents, she breaks them. Sharp knees, brutal elbows, long-range striking, and non-stop pressure. Every time she fights, fans expect a highlight reel finish. That kind of energy is rare in women's MMA, and promotions build around fighters like that. But Dakota's mindset is what separates her. Instead of begging for a title, she's focused on building her name into something bigger than a championship. She wants to become unforgettable. In a sport where many champions are remembered only during their reign, Dakota wants to be remembered forever. She wants fans talking about her years after retirement. That approach has created controversy. Some fighters are jealous because while they chase gold, Dakota is gaining fame faster than many champions. She's becoming a global attraction without needing a UFC belt around her waist. That frustrates people who believe titles should be everything. The reality is, belts matter. They always will. Championships bring legitimacy, history, and status. But star power can sometimes become even more valuable. There are fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, our co-main event was scheduled for 3 rounds. It went the full distance, and we now go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score this bout.